Want to laugh for no reason?
No. No, man. This is too much.
Welcome back to Speak and Master Podcast. Today, Mr. Mayo and Sam. And today we're talking about some of the most crucial questions that are asked inside the job interviews and perhaps how you can answer them without damaging your own responses. And today, to help me, we got Mr. Mayo, and Mr. Mayo is going to be asking some of these questions, and I'll try to perform some of the responses myself. I'll also try to educate you on what to say and what not to say, maybe give you some sort of structure as to how to respond to that. So let's get started.
All right, cool. So the first question I want to ask Mr. Sam is, what are your greatest weaknesses and strengths?
Okay.
Inside of an interview.
You're really starting with the worst question.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, in most cases, whenever we talk about the idea of being asked, what is your biggest weakness? Now, let's keep in mind, you cannot say your biggest weakness is watching Jennifer Lopez, for example. That is not your biggest weakness. You know what I mean?
Jennifer. Hey, Jenny from the block.
That is not your biggest weakness. Your biggest weakness at a job interview is never chocolate, for example. You can't say my biggest weakness is eating chocolate at night.
You can't.
Because there's no relevance. It's not related to work.
Exactly.
And so whenever you talk about your biggest weakness, you need to know a few things. You cannot say, for example, my biggest weakness is I come late to work. That is a real weakness.
That's
like, for example, what would you feel like if someone told you, if you were the boss and someone told you, my biggest weakness is I wake up late or I come to work late? Would you hire?
No, that wouldn't work out for me just because I need to make sure you're there on time. We can't run the business without you.
Exactly. So you probably are not going to hire the person that says, I wake up late or go to work late.
Exactly.
But you would probably hire that person if that person said it correctly. It's almost like a gift box. You literally have to put it into a gift that makes it sound cool. So we're not saying to lie. We're just saying a little bit sugar-coated.
Make it sound better.
Yeah, make it sound a little bit better maybe. So again, I'll give you a simple formula for asking and answering this question. So when you are asked, what is your biggest weakness? You should probably respond. First, focus on saying what the problem is. Don't run. Don't say, my biggest weakness is I work really hard. That is really not a weakness. That's actually a strength.
Yeah.
And so therefore, it's almost like you're running.
Yeah.
But you could say, or possibly focus on, tell us what the problem is, tell us what the solution is, and then tell us the response.
Exactly.
So, again, when you are asked, what is your biggest weakness? You need 3 parts to answer this question. First one you need is the actual problem that you're experiencing. The second part you need is the solution to the problem.
Okay.
And then you need what's called the result. So in this case, when someone asks you, hey, what is your biggest weakness? You can say, my biggest weakness is I wake up late. See, that's a real problem. Now, you need to tell them also the solution. What's the solution to that? Well, I wake up late, and as a solution, last year, I decided that one alarm wasn't enough, so I decided to make 3 different alarms. And the 3 different alarms that I made, or I have set on my phone, helps me to continuously wake up on time. And as a result, now I have been going to work on time for the last year and a half and haven't had a problem.
Good. That's really cool.
So again, you want to focus on 3 parts for this question. You want to tell them what the real problem is, tell them the solution to the problem, and then tell them the result.
The result.
Yeah, that's it. There you have it.
And the second question for Mr. Sam is, why are you leaving your current job?
You don't want to say anything bad. You don't want to badmouth your last boss. You don't want to say anything negative about the old company that you were working for or possibly still working for. You definitely want to say something nice, but at the same time, talk about your personal growth. Talk about how you want to grow as a person, possibly change companies for that reason. So again, go ahead and ask me the question again.
Why are you leaving your current job?
Well, I'm leaving my current job because I reached a position at my last job where I could no longer grow. And I feel like by going to a different job, I can possibly enhance my career ladder and I can actually elevate again or go up. The result would be that you make more money. But you never want to say that. You never want to say that I'm leaving my last job because I want more money. Because now it means that if after we hire you, the next company, after we hire you, if another company offers you more money, you would also leave us.
Exactly.
And of course, that's not something that you want to say.
There's no loyalty in that, so you have to, yeah.
Loyalty is a big word here, yes.
Yeah. All right, and the next question I want to ask Mr. Sam is, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I see myself in your chair.
You gonna take my chair?
You see the common response? Now, a lot of people make this mistake. They say, well, I see myself in your position. And you really don't want to say that because you don't want to scare the manager because, well, that manager likes his job and he doesn't want to lose his job. So I don't think that's a good idea. However, you could say, well, I see myself in your position in 5 years because in 5 years, hopefully, you would be in a much bigger position.
Exactly.
And here, I think it's almost like something motivational that you can do or respond to this particular question. So make sure that your question has a purpose behind the answer. It is not just about speaking English or anything like that. Make sure it's purpose-driven.
Exactly. So my last question is to Mr. Sam, how do I ask for a salary that's high enough that's going to take care of me? You know what I mean? Like,
sure. Good question.
How do I ask for that?
Good question. So when you are asked what is your expected salary, you really want to make sure that you do enough research about the typical job that you're asking for or applying for.
Okay.
And ask within that range. You definitely want to talk in ranges. You don't want to say a set number. Maybe you can say, I want to take from 4,000 to 5,000, somewhere in that range, but only say those numbers after you have done some research to figure out what that particular job pays. And then you can ask for that salary that you want. Okay. But definitely don't underestimate yourself. You don't want to overestimate yourself. You don't want to say 10,000, for example, if everybody's paying 5,000 for that same position, because you would not be a prospect.
Exactly. Or you can ask for dollars.
Yeah, everybody would prefer dollars, but
yeah,
I'm not sure if they're going to pay you in dollars, but
I was
definitely go for the dollars and get it. British pounds even if you would like.
Yeah, yes. Pay me in British pounds. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last thing we're doing today in our podcast is sharing just a few different idioms with you, possibly some expressions, some lingo that you can use within your career, possibly a job. And in case you're not sure what the difference is between a job and a career, I can probably explain. A job is something short-term, usually not within the career path that you have built. And a career, obviously, is what you studied or possibly the thing that you want to reach in your life. It is basically the goal that you are living for. So that's a major difference. But the number one thing you want to make sure you do is do your job correctly. Because if you don't do your job correctly, you get sacked.
You get sacked.
And so you don't want to get sacked. Get sacked means basically
get fired.
And I don't think anybody enjoys the idea of getting sacked. So make sure you play by the book, right?
Yeah.
So when you play by the book,
you're playing by the rules.
And so you want to play by the book, you want to play by the rules. And so playing by the book means
playing by the rules.
Playing by the rules. So make sure you play by the book so you could move up in the world.
Exactly.
Right? So you could
move up in the world.
And so when you move up in the world, what happens?
You get bigger. You get a bigger salary too.
And you have a Ferrari, perhaps.
Yeah, and a big house, villa, mansion.
A lot of money. Just
oh man, I want to go back on the beach.
Yeah, and horses everywhere, and cars, and motorcycles, helicopters, and airplanes.
Yeah.
So you move up in the air. You move up in the world.
Airplanes,
just everything. Move up in the world.
Just moving up in the world.
Yep, that's one of them. All right, so and now in order to move up in the world, in order for you not to get sacked, in order for you to do everything well and to play by the book, the number one purpose here and the number one thing you got to do is you got to be a people's person. You have to be a people's person. You got to be a person that people like. And so when you are a people's person, you are a person who is
liked by the people.
Exactly. So make sure you are a people's person. And as always, Speaking Master.
Speaking Master.
Coming to you live and direct. If you are ready at any time, give us a call, and let's begin, and see you soon. And of course, as always, use something from what you learned today. Write it in the comments. Let us know how you feel about it.
Down below.
And hope to see you soon.
All right. See y'all soon.
See y'all soon. One left for no reason?
Nah. Nah, man. This is too much. Hey, edit it out.
Don't edit it out.
Teach from the bottom, we a boss, we the master. We the boss, we